Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review we are looking at the SH Figuarts The Force Awakens Captain Phasma. Maybe not the best character in the entire franchise, but I really like the shiny Stormtrooper look with the cape. And it's a girl, which I think is cool, so I had to get the figure. I know the character was a little lackluster in the movie, but hopefully in future films it makes up for it. But either way, this is the figure. It surprised me. It's pretty well done. There are two things that bugged me about it severely. Well, one severely, one just a little bit, but mostly it's pretty cool. I'm mostly very pleased with it. So let's get it off the stand and take a closer look. Okay, so this figure stands roughly 16 centimeters tall, which makes it just about 6 1/4 inches. So it has some decent size to it, so that's a good thing. And it generally has a nice paint job. The silver parts are all very silver. However, that's part of the problem. It's not supposed to be clean looking. It's supposed to look like it's been through some battles. For example, if you look at the artwork on the side, you can see throughout the entire helmet and throughout the chest and everything, it's supposed to have little pock marks and nicks and dings and some black dirtiness, and it looks like that in all of the images that they showed. And that's how it's supposed to look. However, the figure itself has none of that. It's completely smooth. It's completely shiny. The only real issues in terms of being clean looking are that it's got some scuff marks on it from the packaging, which is clearly not what they intended, so it's a little disappointing. There is kind of a black wash to fill in some of the details, so you can see like on the arms, that's got a wash in it. You can see down on the torso, under certain lighting, when you hold it like this, you can see how ugly that wash is on those lines. Holding it straight up, it doesn't look too bad. Then we have the same kind of wash throughout the helmet. So it looks okay, but it definitely, it's missing a little bit of that pizzazz. And then the other issue I have with this thing is the cape, and we'll talk about that once I take it off to show you. But she looks really good for the most part. She comes with the 2 fists on her in the package. And then we have some interchangeable hands, of course. We have 2 different hands like this. So this one's kind of like a gripping hand, and this one's definitely just a style pose hand. And then this one is a kind of style pose hand. So this one's kind of a style posed hand. And then this one is a secondary gripping hand for the gun. That's it for the hands. We also get an alternate shoulder pad, or an additional shoulder pad, and that is so that you can remove the cape and have her with her shoulder pad on, because it's not in there. And then we have the gun, which I don't remember her gun. I don't know if it was supposed to be this color or not. It's kind of a goldish color, but it does look really good, at least for the most part. Lots of sculpted detail, lots of paint detail, and this has a hinge on it. Again, maybe that's how it's supposed to be. I don't remember her gun that much. So either way, that's cool. Now let's look at the figure. As far as articulation goes, let's pop the head off. It's just a ball peg, well, a double ball peg, so that's okay. It's not great, but it's okay. The neck is really big. I guess they did that to hide the fact that the helmet's mostly hollow, and it looks fine when the helmet's on. Fine enough, I should say. It really needs to have the cape. If you don't have the cape, it looks really bad. She's got a gigantic neck, and it looks really, really bad. And it's hollow in here. I didn't realize this before I did the review, so that's another issue. The neck part is kind of really poorly designed, so you really need to keep the cape on. But if you want to take it off for some reason, you have the option to put her other shoulder pad on, and you can do that if you want. This gives me the opportunity to show you the hinge for the shoulder pad is like a double hinge with a ball peg on it. So it's the same on both sides. That allows for the shoulder pad to move around, and you do have the fully articulated ball peg for the shoulder itself with that kind of floating cap in there. And then you have the hinging for the shoulder. Full range of motion, bicep swivel under the armor. You get a double jointed elbow, so that's good. And then the wrists are on ball hinges, so that's good. No issues there. I didn't realize that neck was such a bad design. It's really, really bad. I did not realize that. That's a bummer. Luckily, I'll be keeping the cape on, so I won't notice it. For the torso, we have this weird ball and hinge combination. The best thing I can do is just to show you. Gives you a really good ab crunch, leaning forward. Does give you a giant gap in the back, but you won't probably see that. It can lean back a little bit too, and it leans from side to side a little bit, and it rotates. Then we have, I believe, just a ball peg for the lower torso, which gives you a little bit more range of motion. Once you get it posed, it's going to all look good, so don't worry about that. All of the pouches are hinged. It's a little awkward looking, but they are hinged, so they won't get in the way of posing the figure. She has kind of unique hips, at least as far as I've seen. We have this whole mechanism here, including this, that just rotates around, so you can bring the leg almost all the way forward, and you can bring it back a little bit. And then we have this internal hinge that you can't really see too much of. It's a weird design. It's similar to the new Awakening Goku's hinge. So it works pretty well. Not the best range, but well enough. It's kind of floppy in the middle of the range, so that's a bit of an issue. Thigh swivel, no problem. Double jointed knees, no problem. Ankles hinge forward and back pretty well. Could have better range going forward though. We have a toe hinge. We have a classic ankle rocker, but the leg armor does impede it a little bit. Maybe you can force it a little bit more, but it is there, so that's pretty good. Overall, it's a solid figure. Some of those issues like the neck, if it wasn't hidden by the cape, it would be a much bigger issue, but since anybody's gonna leave the cape on, most likely it's not that big of a deal. Now here's the issue with the cape. All of these pouches and panels, which I didn't even know were supposed to be there, they don't have any shading or anything on them, so it looks really, really cheap. And then the paint job for this red line is horribly done. It's really sloppy and just doesn't look good. Luckily, it's not super noticeable once you have the figure put together and posed, so I can let it slide. But this figure is pretty indicative of how the entire Star Wars line has been. Not the entire line, but most of it from SH Figuarts. They're like halfway really good and then have some seriously dumb decisions mixed in. So I do recommend it. As you can see, it looks awesome once you put the cape on, so that's fine. But it does have some issues, so be aware of those. But I think you'll enjoy it if you pick it up. So there it is, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure you stick around here for the photos at the end. And make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can see my upcoming figure reviews, custom figures, and other good stuff. In the meantime, keep collecting.